Okay, fine. So today we will going to see the impedance for an antenna. So let us consider the input side. So on the side, what are the different impedance we can have from the source and how much the impedance is responsible for radiation for an antenna. Okay, so let us go with input impedance first. Okay, so this is the impedance presented by an antenna at its terminal, or we say the ratio of voltage or current at a pair of terminal. The impedance presented by the antenna at its terminal. Terminal means the input side, or the ratio of the voltage to current. Voltage to current at a pair of terminals, or the ratio of the appropriate component of components of the electric field to magnetic field at a point. Okay, so it may be the ratio of voltage to current at the terminal, or may be appropriate component of electric field or magnetic field at a point. So at the input side, if we consider the voltage and current ratio, that also gives us the impedance. We can look at the circuit point of view, or if we can think of that the wave is propagating on the antenna. So at that terminal, if we consider the appropriate component of electric and magnetic field, so it may be EXHY, it may be HXEY. So we need to consider the appropriate component of electric field and magnetic field. Now let us consider we are having a dipole antenna. We are having a dipole antenna somewhat like this, which is connected with a generator. This is the box. Here the generator is connected. So these are the terminals A and B. This is our antenna. Okay, so at this generator given by G, we can have the generator impedance ZG. We can have this generator impedance. Now with no load attached at the antenna terminals, if there is no load, so let us consider we are having only this antenna. So no load means this generator impedance is absent. So with no load attached at the antenna terminals, what we can say, ZA is equals to some real value as well as some imaginary value, which is reactance. Okay, so what is this ZA? ZA is the antenna impedance at terminal A and B. It is the total antenna impedance. So out of that, this RA is the antenna resistance at the terminal A and B. XA is the antenna reactance. So it may have certain inductance, capacitance, all those things. Due to that, it may have certain reactance at terminal A and B. Now if we look elaborately on this antenna as a circuit point of view, then what are the different things we may found for this antenna when it is connected with a source. So let us consider these are the different things which may present when we are doing this analysis with respect to circuit point of view. So this side, from these 2 points, this left hand side, it is the source. So this voltage Vg is given, the voltage Vg is given. This source impedance, it also has certain real value, certain imaginary value. It is connected with the antenna. So that antenna is having different kinds of resistances like this. Along with its reactance. So what are that? RL, RR and XA. So this RL and RR, it is the antenna resistance RA. So this resistive part RA is equals to RL plus RR. So what is this RL? RL is the loss resistance of the antenna. So how we are defining this antenna as a circuit point from the different components into consideration of different resistance and reactance. We have taken this antenna as a circuit element. So what are the different elements? These are the different elements we have considered when it is connected with a loss resistance of the antenna. This RR, it is known as radiation resistance. Okay. Now let us assume that antenna is attached to a generator with internal impedance Zg. So generator internal impedance Zg is equal to Rg plus J of Xg. So Rg is the generator resistance, this Xg is the reactance. Now this antenna is used in the transmitting mode. Antenna is used in the transmitting mode or for transmission. We can also have the same thing for reception. Okay. Now the power delivered to this RR, the amount of power delivered to RR for radiation, this RR is known as radiation resistance. This is the resistance which is responsible for having radiation from the antenna, and the amount of power dissipated in RL, loss resistance, as heat. So what is this loss resistance which is responsible, which results into heat? That is I square RL by 2. This is the power which is dissipated in the form of heat. So the current which is coming out of this source, this I, it is Ig is equals to Vg by total resistance Zt. So what is this Zt? It is the internal impedance of the source as well as antenna impedance, that is Za plus Zg. So what is this Za? It is RR, RL plus Rg. I am just writing this resistances as a whole plus J of Xa plus Xg into by Vg by this thing amps. So it is the current which is flowing in this closed circuit. Now if we take out only magnitude of this, so that one will result into RR plus RL plus Rg whole square plus Xa plus Xg whole square to the power half by, so Vg by this thing. So what is this Vg? Vg is the peak generator voltage. Now we'll see what are the power being delivered to each of the different resistance of the antenna, associated antenna. The power delivered to the antenna for radiation. For radiation means we are considering RR, radiation resistance. That is PR is equals to half mod Ig square into RR. So what is that? Half of mod of Vg square magnitude by total resistance, total impedance, that is RR plus RL plus Rg whole square plus XA plus Xg whole square. It is Vg square, so square root will get cancelled by RR. That is that amount of power been given to the radiation resistance. Now dissipated power as heat. Dissipated power as heat, that is PL. It is half mod of Ig square into RL. So that is Vg square by Zg square. So this square root will get cancelled. It is Vg square by 2. Same thing, RL by RR plus RL plus Rg whole square plus XA plus Xg whole square. Now remaining power, what is the total power been coming from the source? These are the power which is given to the radiation resistance. This is the power which is dissipated as the heat. Now remaining power will be dissipated as heat in the internal resistance, because source is also having certain resistance. Remaining power is dissipated as heat on the internal resistance of Rg of the source. That is Pg is equals to half Ig square into Rg. That is Vg square by 2 RL plus Rg whole square XA plus Xg whole square by Rg by this thing. Now from the maximum power transfer theorem, what we know, if the series resistance is same as the load resistance. So here the series resistance is our source resistance. So if this source resistance is similar to this resistance, then maximum power will be delivered to the antenna. So we need to go with that, and total reactance should be 0. That is Xg plus Xa should be 0. So Xg should be is equals to negative of Xa. So under resonance condition only this is possible. So under resonance, when the circuit is under resonance, the reactance will be 0 and resistance is only coming into picture. So maximum power delivered to the antenna occurs, or for maximum power transfer to the antenna, this RR plus RL, total resistance of the antenna, should be is equal to source resistance, and the reactance, total reactance should be 0. Okay. So for this case, if we modify this PR, this RR plus RL will be Rg, right? So this one will be 2 RR plus RL, that is 4, and this part will be 0. So for this case, this PR, it will be mod of Vg square by 2 into Rr by 4 Rr plus RL whole square, or this one will be mod of Vg square by 8 Rr by Rr plus RL whole square. Same for the loss resistance PL, it will be mod of Vg square by 8 RL by Rr plus RL whole square, and the power which is dissipated at the source, that is Pg, that will be Vg by 8 Rg by Rr plus RL whole square. Now this Rr plus RL itself is equals to Rg, so this one will be mod of Vg square by 8 1 by Rr plus RL, or we can write Vg square by 8 Rg. This is same as Rg. Okay. Now if we take the summation between this PR and PL, now PR plus PL, so that one will be mod of Vg square by 8 Rr plus RL by Rr plus RL whole square, right? If we take this two, so this one will be mod of Vg square by 8, this one will result into, we can take this one out, 1 by Rr plus RL, right? So this Rr plus RL itself is Rg, so we can write this one and this two, Pg is same, so what we can write, it is equals to Pg, so Pg should be PR plus PL. The power which get dissipated in the internal resistance of the source, it is equals to the power which is delivered to the loss resistance and the radiation resistance. Okay. Now the total power under matching condition, if we consider under matching condition, the total power which is delivered to the load, so here for the source load is the antenna, right? The total power which is given to the load or the antenna, or we can say from the source what is the power been coming out, so that is the voltage into current, and that is only possible under conjugate matching condition. So we can say the power supplied by the generator, so we are not considering, that is it is get dissipated to the source resistance. Before that, what is the total actual power been generated, so how we take out that one, that is PS is equals to half Vg into Ig conjugate, that is we can say half Vg conjugate by twice of Rr plus RL, that is what we have seen, right? Because this Rr and RL, it is same as Rg. Just try to understand, this is the amount of power just coming out of the generator. After that some power is get dissipated in the source resistance and remaining power is dissipated in the antenna, that is Rr and RL. So this is possible That dissipation what we have considered, that is under the matching condition. This is the matching condition. Okay, or we also take out something like that under matching. The total power PS is half I square R, Ig square. What is this R? Total resistance Rg plus Rr plus RL. So under matching condition, this Rg is same as Rr plus RL. So we can say Rg plus Rr plus RL. So these two are same. So what we can say? It is half Ig square into twice of Rr plus RL. It is same as this thing. We can also write this one as Vg square, mod of Vg square by 4 into 1 by Rr plus RL. So this is the total power which is coming out of the source. After that, some part is dissipated in the source resistance, some part is dissipated in the antenna resistance. Now, out of the total power provided by the generator, out of the total power provided by the generator, what we have seen, half is get dissipated in the source resistance, half is get dissipated in the source resistance, right? This is the Pg, and other half is dissipated in the antenna resistance. So this is our PR, this is our PL, this is our PG. Fine. So this PG, it is a summation of PR plus PL. So we can say this PG is half part and PR plus PL is another half part. Total is the PR plus PG plus PL. So out of this 3 part, PG consisting of half of the total power and remaining half is the PR plus PL. So out of this total power delivered by the generator, half is dissipated as heat, in the internal resistance Rg, of the generator. Half is already get dissipated in the generator resistance, and the other half is delivered antenna. Other half is delivered to the antenna. Now this only happens when conjugate matching exists. Under matching condition only, this half of the total power from the source is delivered to the antenna. Now, out of the total half of the power which is given to the antenna, out of that half, one half is again dissipated as a heat in the loss resistance, and only half of that half is responsible for the radiation of the power that is delivered to the antenna. a part is radiated through the mechanism provided by the radiation resistance and the other part is dissipated as heat which influences part of the overall efficiency of the antenna. Okay, now just try to summarize this thing. Whatever the total power is delivered from the source, already the option is dissipated as heat in the internal resistance of that source. Now out of the remaining half portion, a half is again dissipated as a heat in the antenna resistance and only half is radiated from the antenna. So we can say half is already dissipated as heat in the source. Now out of the remaining half, 1/4 is, it is not 1/4, 1/4 of the total. So we can say half of that half is dissipated as heat and remaining half is again getting lost as a heat in the antenna structure itself. So only minimum amount of power is responsible for the antenna radiation or for the radiation from the antenna. Only a minimum amount of power. So this is the case under transmitting mode. So same we can find out for the receiving mode. So try to go with that. Just assume a receiving antenna, the waves are incident on that antenna. So we can consider in the right hand side we are having the voltage and current which is get inducted from the incident wave. So if we are having this antenna structure, some waves are incident on this, so we can have this resistance RL. In that side the voltage is get induced VT, again some radiation resistance will be there RR, for which this VT is get induced. We can also have certain reactance of the antenna. This right hand side, left hand side we are having the load which is connected with this antenna, that is ZT, it is connected. So we can have this RT XT. So this load is for the receiver which is connected with this antenna. So try to go with that. Any of this? Anyone having any doubt? Any question you can ask? Next is vector effective length. What is in for the PLF? Polarization loss factor. Vector effective length, or we simply say effective height. So this effective length of an antenna, either this antenna is a linear or having certain aperture, it is the quantity that is used to determine the voltage induced on the open circuit terminals of the antenna when the wave is impinging on the antenna structure. the effective length, it is not at all the physical length, it is the effective length of an antenna, whether it be a linear means a single line or two-way transmission line, or an aperture antenna having certain openings from which the radiation is going out or waves have been received. Is a quantity that is used to determine the voltage induced on the open circuit terminals of the antenna when a wave impinges upon it. Okay, so this effective length can be either in the direction of elevation plane, either in the direction of azimuthal plane. Okay, so we can say, let us take an antenna like this. It is having a certain amount of opening. Okay, on here some receiver is connected. Okay, so we can have this effective length in this way, or like this. It may be along theta, it may be along phi. So this effective length, it may be function of theta or phi. It is along the direction of theta as well as along the direction of phi. Theta. So obviously it is a far field quantity. It is a far field quantity and it is related to far zone field. Okay. So if the open circuit voltage at this point when the waves have been coming to this antenna, at this opening, the open circuit voltage, if it is having certain value, then it is completely depending upon this length LE. Okay, so the open circuit voltage of receiving antenna that is VOC is equals to EI into LE. So what is this EI? EI is the incident electric field. And LE is the vector effective length. Okay. Next topic is antenna equivalent area or effective area or aperture. Or effective area or aperture. So with any antenna there are numbers of areas are associated. So these areas are effective area, they are not at all a physical area. So out of the total physical area, like whatever we have seen for the length, there are numbers of effective areas may be included. Okay, so these areas are used to describe the power capturing characteristic. So certain aperture, within that aperture how much power is get captured, they are used to describe that power capturing characteristics of antenna. So if we define this effective area is the area in a given direction is the ratio of the available power at the terminals of a receiving antenna to the power flux density of a plane wave incident on the antenna from that direction the wave, the condition is the wave being polarization.
Sir,
Yes,
sir, that is Mr.
polarization. Okay, 1 minute. Polarization matched to the antenna.
Video is paused.
Now it is visible. Hello.
Yes, sir, your video is paused, sir.
Now it is visible.
No, sir. Document ranking number 4.
No, now the connection is okay. I'm just stop presenting and again starting. Just wait for a minute. My voice is clear, right?
Sir, voice is little bit cracking. But
Now.
video was totally.
Now it is visible.
No, sir. Nothing is visible.
How it is possible? Huh?
It's visible on my screen.
Rohit, you just disconnect and connect again. Now it is fine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is this effective area? it is the area in a given direction, that is the ratio of the available power at the antenna terminals. So which antenna? It is the receiving antenna. So ratio of the available power at the antenna terminals to the total flux power density of a plane wave incident on the antenna from that direction. So the wave which impinges on the antenna structure, what is the total flux density been having on that plane wave? Out of that total flux density, how much power is available at the antenna terminals? So the wave which is coming to the receiving antenna, that is having certain flux density. So out of that flux density, how much is available in the antenna terminals? And that should be in the case of polarization matched. When the polarization matched condition is achieved, at that case, out of the total power which is available in the plane wave, out of that how much is available at the antenna terminals? That is what will be given by the effective area or aperture. Okay, so what we can say, this effective area AE, it is the total power out of the total flux density, the total power available at the terminals out of the total flux density which is from the incoming wave. So what we can write is, for the receiving antenna, that will be the total power at the antenna terminals by the flux density. So here this one is the effective area of aperture or aperture. It is having the unit meter square. This PT, it is the power delivered to the load. So what is that load here? Load is the receiver which is connected. Receiver which is connected at the antenna terminals to the load. So what is this Wi? It is the power density of the incident wave. It is watt and it is density watt per meter square. Okay. Now this effective aperture, it is when multiplied with the incident power density. If this effective aperture, if it is multiplied with the incident power density, that will give us the total power delivered to the load. So the effective aperture is the area which, when this effective area is multiplied with this incident power density, with incident power density, gives the power delivered to the load. That is, this effective area, it can be written as Vd square. It is the voltage at the antenna terminal. So what does it mean? If we are having this dipole antenna, the waves are incident on the antenna structure, terminal A and B, and this is the load which is connected at the antenna terminals. So this effective area can be written as like this, RT by So this one is RL, this is the voltage been induced, this is the RR, this is X is certain reactance, and this side we are having the load which is connected. Okay, so what I've written here, that the total power which is delivered to the load can be found out by multiplying this effective aperture with this incident power flux density. That is what we have written, that the effective aperture is the area which when multiplied with the incident power density gives the power delivered to the load. Okay, so this effective aperture can be written as, this is the power, this is the resistance where the power is delivered in the load side, that is RR plus this is your RT, sorry, RL loss resistance plus RT whole square plus XA plus XT whole square. So this VT is the induced voltage in the antenna, this RR is the radiation resistance, RT is the load resistance, XA is the antenna reactance at this terminal A and B, XT is the reactance of the load. So again, under the condition of matching to have maximum power transfer, under matching condition for maximum power transfer, what we can write, this RR plus RL should be is equals to RT and XA is equals to minus of XT. So this effective aperture, or we can say maximum effective aperture, that is AEM, it is VT square by 8. So this one 2 will become 4 will come out, so it will be 8 RT by RL plus RR whole square. So this one can be written as VT square by 8. It is same thing what we have considered for the impedance. It is the receiving mode. Okay, so this is the maximum aperture, this is the maximum aperture when it get multiplied with the incident power density, it gives the maximum power delivered. Okay, now the total power or all of the power that is intercepted or collected or captured by the antenna is not delivered to the load, right? So under conjugate matching condition, only half of the captured power is delivered to the load. That is what we have seen, half of the power is delivered to the antenna from the source. Same, the power which is captured by the antenna, only half of that is delivered to the load and other half is scattered and dissipated as heat, that is in the RL and RR. This scattered and dissipated power, for this scattered and dissipated power also we can define certain area. So how much area, because that area is always associated with the induced voltage and the resistances of the antenna. So if RL is there which is dissipating some power, that also includes some area. The scattered power, this RR, that is also responsible, that also take into consideration certain area. Those areas are also known as some scattering area or effective area which is responsible for the loss of power. Okay, we can say that is scattering area, loss area and capture, total power which has been captured, that is the total equivalent area. So we are defining depending upon these resistances. different resistance RR, this RL, depending upon that some area we can define. So the effective area is the total area we can take into consideration, that how much power is captured by the antenna. So out of that captured area, all of the power, out of that captured power, all of the part is not at all delivered to the load. Only half part is delivered. Now other half is getting lost due to the dissipation and due to the scattering. So that loss is also taken into consideration of some area. This scattering is also taken into consideration of some area. So we are going to find out that. First of all is scattering area. What is that? So this area, when it multiplied with the incident power density, give us the scattered or re-radiated power. When multiplied with incident power density, gives scattered or re-radiated power. This RR is radiation. Now when it is, this antenna is acting as a receiver, this resistance will again radiate power, means some radiated power is absorbed or captured by the antenna, but this resistance will again radiate that power. That is what known as re-radiated power. So under matching condition, how we can define that area? AS is equals to Vt square by 8 Wi. So we are considering this RT is considered for the load. This RT is considered for the load. Now if we replace this RT by our respective resistances, that will give us the effective area responsible for that action. So here the action is the scattering. That is RR by RL plus RR whole square. Okay. So if we multiply this one with this Wi, that will give us a power which is re-radiated. Same for this RL, we can find out loss area. So it is same, when multiplied with the incident power density, it leads to the power dissipated as heat through RL. Okay. So I am just writing that one under matching condition. This area AL, it will be Vt square by 8 Wi RL by RR plus RL whole square. Now, if we take into consideration of all the resistances, that is RR, RL and RT, so this all resistance will be responsible for the capturing of the power. So out of that captured power, some power is lost, some power is re-radiated and some power is delivered to the receiver. But if we consider this RL, RR and RT as a whole, we can say that area is responsible for capturing the power, total power which is get captured. That is known as capture area. Okay. So that is AC is equals to Vt square by W8I, that is RT plus RR plus RL, RL plus RR whole square. Okay. So this RT is the effective area. That area is responsible for the power which is delivered to the load. dot here is a receiver, this RT. Now this RL is responsible for loss area, this RR is for the scattering area, and as a whole for this antenna structure connected with a receiver, we can say that is the capture area. So we can say this capture area is equals to effective area plus scatter area plus loss area. Okay. Now depending upon this effective area, we can define aperture efficiency. It is related. So it is the ratio of maximum effective area to the antenna physical area, that is epsilon AP is equals to AEM by AP, that is maximum effective area by total physical area. Okay. We can also have the partial effective area for a given polarization in a given direction. We can also find out. Now just tell me any doubt on this.